This is a different angle than you're used to. I look kind of silly and kind of mysterious about the burp. But I wanted to go live from the gaming to the phone because I wanted to thank everybody. I want to do a post-stream thank you because holy crap. Holy crap. Sorry, I'm messaging Discord. First of all, I just want to say, oh, and I gotta let the Discord know. For a thank you. Okay, so, tonight's stream, Discord is blowing up. Tonight's stream playing, Stray, was one of the most incredible, gaming experiences I've had recently. That was, like, I'm getting a little bit teary-eyed right now because of just how incredible the support was, the feeling of joy, just being able to be myself and go after chairs. That sounds silly, right? But the point is, I had to come on here and do a face cam really quick just to say thank you because I couldn't let that stream end without saying thank you, especially considering the people that I wanted to thank weren't there anymore. So I figured, hey, let's restart it. Maybe they pop in and I can say thank you. So I'm good. Thank you. We're going to be live again tomorrow, obviously. We're not going to be live on this for too long. I just wanted to pull up the list of members and thank everybody because you guys are incredible. And your support tonight was incredible. So, yeah, here we go. Time to thank everyone in the face. Are you ready to get thanked in the face? By me. Thank you, Aces. Thank you, Bloodleaf. Thank you, Paraloose Plays. Thank you, O. Thank you, Love. Thank you, Looney Shrooms. Thank you, Andrew P. Thank you, Vic Sulfur. Thank you, Kyle Kayla. Thank you, Sebastian the Man. Thank you, AH. Thank you, Wings of Goats. Thank you, Glowing Dust. Thank you, HHT. Thank you, Nicole C. AJ. Thank you, The Soviet Gamer. Thank you, Serial Designation. Thank you, Cornico Gaming. Thank you, Cindy Prim. Thank you, Maxi. Yo, Nico! Thank you, Livington28. Thank you, Adventures with Elliot. Thank you, Spin Deja Vu. Thank you, GGBeast9461. Thank you, Chuck Kincaid. Thank you, Brock Sanderson. Thank you, Brad GT. Thank you, Jax's what? Thank you, Too Much Tech. I'm about to burp. Thank you, Sarah BH. Thank you, Lanny Lemieux. Thank you, GBR Eric. Thank you, Hyde. Thank you, Rowan Staghorn. Thank you, Perkaholic. Thank you, Mr. Tahoe. I'm about to burp again. Thank you, IndoKid. Thank you, Zany Butcher. Thank you, LJ Plays. Thank you, Rahi. Thank you, Canterbora. Thank you, Aiden. Thank you, Oreo Cat. Thank you, NK Salt YT. Thank you, Dave 4 Clips. Thank you, Squad Dactyl. Thank you, Bubba the Goober. Thank you, Turtle Nation. Thank you, QEPR. Thank you, Chemicals216631. Thank you, B. Thank you, Gun VP Return. Thank you, Joey the Great 13. Thank you, Derpy Bird 13. Thank you, Winter. Thank you, Bradley. Thank you, Metric Sphinx. Thank you, I'm Electric Music. Thank you, Brantonio. I'm thanking everybody from the gaming stream. I just want to come in here and do that so I can make sure people know that I'm grateful for them. Thank you, Brantonio. Thank you, the Diamond Healer. Thank you, Well. Thank you, Mafio Bill. Thank you, Rome Dome. Thank you, Zamar Warrior 169. Thank you, Andrew Sartorius. Thank you, Saint Toyota Corolla the Third. Thank you, YD Maddie. Thank you, Frey Anthony. Thank you, Bellaboo. Thank you, Nanette Richie. Thank you, Mooney. Thank you, Mooney. Thank you, Maui 420. Thank you, Bordy. Thank you, Ringing Tech. Thank you, Shady Sharp. Thank you, The Artist Fruit. Thank you, Austin. Thank you, South. Thank you, Gamer Funyun GT. Thank you, Grage. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Logan McCabe. Thank you, Skeptics. Thank you, Skybound Angel. Thank you, Grease Skipper. Thank you, Twillis. Thank you, Bunny Flops 3112. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Captain Matt. Thank you, Penju Bunju. Thank you, Ray Duskello. Thank you, Mark Audrey. Thank you, Buster Brownie. Thank you, Pokey Dino. Thank you, John Tech. Thank you, Luke Groundwater. Thank you, Jake Hates Everything. Thank you, Stop Motion Explosion. Thank you, The Lone Wanderer. Thank you, Mud. Thank you, Death VR. Thank you, Kernan. Thank you, Liam Germain. Thank you, Gorio Gameplay. Thank you, DVD Spear. Thank you, Jay Hamilton. Thank you, Deuce Altum Cool. Thank you, Ellen Biggins. Thank you, Casey Castro. Thank you, Nico Schwartz. Thank you, Clint Karas. Thank you, B. Massam. Thank you, MHA Edits. Thank you, Misuse Calculator. Thank you, Andrew J. Thank you, Ghostman. Thank you, Monarchist 2K. Thank you, Edgar Gomez. Thank you, Jesse Matthews. Thank you, Loose Hassle Mommy. Thank you, Cold Warfare 142. Thank you, Duck Boy. Thank you, Easy D. Thank you, Semi-Evolved Neanderthal. Thank you, 38 Telephones. Thank you, Sean Lutz. Thank you, Dakota Boggs. Thank you, Karan Lindsay. Thank you, Stella Stella. Thank you, Ken Spam. Thank you, Marson Gaming. Thank you, Wade Prince. Thank you, OMG VR. Thank you, Smelly Portano. Thank you, Ricky P. Thank you, Skeleton is Dead. Thank you, Jackson. Thank you, Nebulous Nectar. Thank you, Mystic. Thank you, Sapper Undead. Thank you, Bethany Bonk. Thank you, Tough Scallions Min H. Thank you, TG Hendry. Thank you, Car Addict. Thank you, Jade Gomez. Thank you, Ella Gamer 58. Thank you, Cam Non VR 23. Thank you, Grizzly Gamer. Thank you, Globax. Thank you, Alleycraft Studios. Thank you, Nazy. Thank you, Trey Ever. Thank you, Sunny. Thank you, DGH 2025 1234. Thank you, Blocktograph. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Artie. Thank you, Morris Gluck 700. Thank you, Parker Stash. Thank you, William Reb. Thank you, Doctor Strange. Thank you, Ty Games 101. Thank you, Names of Snakes. Thank you, II Dark Laws. Seriously, thank you, Dark Laws. Ah. Thank you, Evan Sargent. Thank you, Ryan Quinn. Thank you, Zoran. Thank you, Chaim Connor. Thank you, Evelyn. Thank you, Juice Wanders. Thank you, Godspeed VR. Thank you, Patrick McGovern. Thank you, Militia Man. Thank you, Melody IV. Thank you, Adam Stad. Thank you, ATF. Thank you, Laney. Thank you, Antonio Mendoza. Thank you, Jackal. Thank you, Lenny Penny. Thank you, Jasper Morgan. Thank you, Leprechaun Story. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Josh B. Thank you, Stormy FE. Thank you, Christopher Slappy McNasty. Thank you, Cold Descendants on YouTube. Thank you, Matt Rosa. Thank you, Disco Rider. Thank you, Glenn Davis. Thank you, No Face VPR. Thank you, Recon FBI. Thank you, Insert Name Here. Thank you, Services Australia. Thank you, Trebby Boys. Thank you, Embry. Thank you, Bento Boy. Thank you, Sam I Am. Thank you, Amber Carpenter. Thank you, Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. Thank you, Max BB 18123. Thank you, Sketch. Thank you, Ghost. Thank you, Jenny Z. Thank you, God to the Zilla. Thank you, Wizard B. Thank you, Gymnastic. Thank you, Emily Hanson 8192. Thank you, Baloney Man 97. Thank you, Mimsy. Thank you, D's Nuts 1970. Thank you, Mills. Thank you, Estonia. Thank you, Bart Basquiat. Thank you, Adam Pace. Thank you, Uncle Bumpy's Tin of Rocks. Thank you, Mama Baker 13. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, the Femboy Miniman. Thank you, Izzy Drinks. Thank you, The Odd Guy. Thank you, The Dude. Thank you, Hippie Mode. Thank you, Gamer Force. Thank you, New Cat. Thank you, Kaisak. Thank you, Weebstream. Thank you, Broke. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Hubert. Thank you, Spiders. Thank you, A Online. Thank you, The Turtle Saloon. Thank you, Lev. Thank you, False. Thank you, Kyle Kennedy. Thank you, Gamer 8-Bit. Thank you, Vinia Velia. Thank you, Max Ages. Thank you, Wannabe Miles. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Lawrence H. Thank you, Starlight 10 Spaces Place. Thank you, Dixie Enormous. Oh, they got me. Thank you, Lucky Luck 607. Thank you, Aaron Tadaful. Thank you, Del Dosto. Thank you, Crunchy. Thank you, Dill. Thank you, Tor. Thank you, Puppy VR. Thank you, Bradley F. Sharp. Thank you, Timothy Esmond. Thank you, Fumblebum. Thank you, Just Another Vegan on YouTube. Thank you, Odessa. Thank you, The Canadian Bologna. Thank you, Boaz. Thank you, Dehanjay. Thank you, Poohberry Bear. Thank you, Larry Nielsen. Thank you, Shadow Knight. Thank you, Tyler Bone. Thank you, Stephanie Cox. Thank you, Baloney Bong. Thank you, Brad Dad is Rad. Thank you, Pickle. Thank you, Hempified. And thank you, Rusty Shackelford. Saying it fast, Aloni, because I want to go get in a bath, Aloni, and Miss Baloney's coming over soon, Aloni. Thank you, guys. From the bottom of my heart. Your support every day is life-changing. And this week has been absolutely phenomenal, unexpected, appreciated. I am moved to tears and beyond words to try and express the level of thanks that I have for you guys allowing me to do so. This brings me so much joy. And it is such a passion and such a privilege that I get to make things and express myself and create stuff for you guys. Such an incredible community. So thank you. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I love you all. And that's baloney. I like how everyone is showing up at the very end. I love you all. And I'll see you tomorrow. That's baloney.